Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Skills Booster. In the last class, we have discussed about viral diseases, and in this class, we will start our new chapter, which is of bioenergetics. And so, let's get started. What is bioenergetics? Bioenergetics is the quantitative study of energy relationship. It's basically a relationship between life and energy. Bio means life and energetics mean energy. So it's a basically relationship between energy and life, and we it's also deals with the study of energy conversion in biological systems such as our living systems, also known as biological systems. It's an example of biological system. Biological energy transformation obeys the laws of thermodynamics. So we have studied laws of thermodynamics in our physics chapter. So biological energy transformation also obeys the laws of thermodynamics. All the living organisms need free energy for keeping themselves alive and functioning. Now we will see that energy is a basic need of every living organism to survive in this environment. If the existence of energy is not, then living organism cannot survive and cannot function properly. All the life on this planet Earth is powered directly or indirectly by solar energy. So all kind of life, it may be of animals life, it may be insects, it may be fishes, it may be sea life, marine life, or it may be human life. All the life directly or indirectly powered by solar energy. But no organism can make direct use of sunlight as a source of energy for metabolism. All can use chemical energy in food such as sugar, etc. So now all the organisms cannot use directly energy from solar light, so we convert the solar energy into some other kind of energy to use it. For example, in case of crops, in case of food, the solar energy is converted into food energy. And in case of for example, if we take example from physics, in case of batteries, we convert energy into chemical energy by solar plates, solar cell, which are also known as solar panels. Through solar panels, we convert solar energy into chemical energy, and which we then use for our uh, um, convenience. So, the chloroplast of the plant capture light energy coming from sun and convert it into chemical energy that gets stored in sugar and then in other organic molecules. So this is the example of plants. In plants, the organelle is present. One organelle is present, which is known as chloroplast, which is involved in capturing of sunlight, and then it converts the solar energy into chemical energy, and this chemical energy then stores as sugar, and this sugar then used as a source of food. It's converted into carbohydrates, which is used as a food by organisms. With the emergence of photosynthesis on Earth, molecular oxygen begins to accumulate slowly in atmosphere. The presence of free oxygen made possible the evolution of respiration. First of all, oxygen was not present on the earth, but as the photosynthesis emerges, the molecular oxygen begins to accumulate in atmosphere. So, due to presence of free oxygen, the evolution of respiration becomes possible. Respiration releases great deal of energy and couples some of this energy to formation of adenosine triphosphate. So, with the process of respiration, great deal of energy released, and this energy is then converted into a high energy molecule which is adenosine triphosphate. ATP is a kind of link between catabolism and anabolism. The process of photosynthesis helps us to understand some of the principles of energy transformation in a living system. Photosynthetic organisms, higher land plant for instance, use solar energy to synthesize organic compounds that cannot be formed without input of energy. So it's example of photosynthetic organism which do photosynthesis to synthesize their food. Otherwise, if photosynthesis does not exist, then their food will not form without input of energy. It means that photosynthesis need energy to occur. So if photosynthesis, if energy does not occur, if the energy does not present, then photosynthesis will not occur. So organism cannot synthesize organic compounds such as for example carbohydrates. They can't form it. So that's why they can't exist. Energy stored in these molecules uh, can later be used to power cellular processes and can serve as the energy source for all forms of life. The energy which is formed in photosynthetic organisms, such as the formation of carbohydrate, if this does not formed, then this energy, then this will not, this can't be used for other cannot be used by other life forms. So life can't exist. Whereas the photosynthesis provide carbohydrate substrate, glycolysis and respiration are the processes whereby the energy stored in carbohydrate and released in controlled manner. So here it is described that glycolysis and respiration, two processes are described. That glycolysis is the process in which glucose molecule broken down into uh, their smaller component, and respiration is the process. These are both processes are connected to each other. In both the processes ATPs are formed, energy is released. So now photosynthesis act as an energy capturing while respiration act as an energy releasing. So photosynthesis is a process which captures energy. It means that it takes during this process plant takes sunlight and convert it into chemical energies as in the form of carbohydrate, while the respiration is a process in which carbohydrates are broken down to release energy. So this is a energy releasing process. Then it comes photosynthesis, conversion of solar energy into chemical energy. Photosynthesis is can be defined as the process in which the energy for inorganic oxidized compound of carbon and oxygen are reduced to energy-rich carbohydrate using energies light energy that is absorbed and converted into chemical energy by chlorophyll and other photosynthetic pigments. So it's the definition of photosynthesis in which energy poor, this is a process. It's basically a process in which energy poor inorganic oxidized compound of carbon and hydrogen are reduced to energy rich carbohydrate using light energy that is absorbed and converted into chemical energy by chlorophyll and some other photosynthetic pigment. This process of photosynthesis is summarized as, this is basically the chemical reaction of photosynthesis process. 6 CO2, there is 6 carbon dioxide and 12 water molecules plus sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll. It's converted to glucose molecule, 6 oxygen molecules and 6 H2O. As you can see, water molecules can, you can see water molecule on both side, as well as reactant side as well as on product side. So we will discuss about this. in a later section, photosynthetic reactants and product. Here it is discussed that water, you can see water molecule in both side as well, reactant side as well as on product side. So due to this, we can say water as raw material, because there is no yield of H2O. So that's why we can call it as a raw material. So we can reduce this equation to this 6 CO2 6 H2O, because here we can see only 6 H2O, 6 water molecules are used. So we reduce the amount of water molecule here, 6 CO2 6 H2O plus light energy, and in the presence of chlorophyll. In the presence of chlorophyll, this reaction will occur and glucose molecule will form C6H12O6 and 6 oxygen molecules will be released. So we will see its theory. From above overall reaction of photosynthesis, it becomes evident that carbon dioxide, water and light are reactants while glucose, oxygen are product. So here it is discussed that carbon dioxide, H2O are the reactant while glucose and oxygen are products. Water appears on both sides of the equation because water is used as a reactant in some reactions and released as a product in other. However, about because there is no net yield of H2O, we can simplify summary of equation of photosynthesis for the purpose of discussion. So here it is described that because water exists in both side of equation, on reactant side as well as on product side, so we can simplify the above equation, this equation, for the purpose of discussion. We have reduced this equation to this. This is almost exactly opposite to overall equation of aerobic respiration. The equation of aerobic respiration is glucose molecule plus 6O2. It is broken down into 6CO2 plus 6H2O plus large amount of energy is released. This equation is exactly opposite to equation of aerobic respiration. So photosynthesis uses the product of respiration and respiration uses the product of photosynthesis. Here we can see the product of this photosynthesis equation is used as a reactant in this aerobic respiration equation. And products here are the products which is used as a reactant in this equation. So it is told here that photosynthesis uses the product of respiration and respiration uses the product of photosynthesis. There is another important difference between two processes. Photosynthesis occurs only during daytime, whereas respiration goes on day and night. This is a basic difference between photosynthesis and respiration, that photosynthesis occur only during daytime. It means it occurs only during daytime while respiration goes on during day as well as on night. During darkness, leaves respire and utilizes oxygen and release carbon dioxide. During darkness, there is no photosynthesis occur, so plant utilizes oxygen and release carbon dioxide. At dawn and dusk, it means that in early morning or during evening when sunlight becomes low, When light intensity becomes low, this is called dawn and dusk. At dawn and dusk, when light intensity is low, the rate of photosynthesis and respiration may for a short time becomes equal to one another. It means that when light intensity become low during morning or evening, the rate of respiration rate or and photosynthesis rate become equals to one another because because of a light intensity becomes low. So as a result, photosynthetic rate and respiration rate becomes equal to one another for a short time. The oxygen released from photosynthesis is just the amount required for cellular respiration. So the oxygen released during this photosynthetic process is just equal to the amount needed for cellular respiration, and the carbon dioxide which is released by respiration is just equal to the amount that is needed by photosynthetic cells. So at this moment no gaseous exchange takes place between leaves and atmosphere. Because why? Because the carbon dioxide which is released by respiration is used by photosynthetic cells, and the oxygen released by photosynthetic cell is used by respiration. So there is no gaseous exchange occur between leaves and atmosphere. This is termed as compensation point. So this point is known as compensation because oxygen release is used by respiration process, and carbon dioxide released by respiration is used by photosynthetic cells. So compensation occur. No release of oxygen and carbon dioxide occur between atmosphere and plant. So this point is known as compensation point. As the light intensity increases, so does the rate of photosynthesis, and hence the requirement for more carbon dioxide increases, which respiration alone cannot supply. As let's suppose, for example, sunlight increases. So as a result of as the sunlight increases, the photosynthetic rate also increases because light intensity has increased. So as the light intensity has increased, the rate of photosynthesis increased, and respiration cannot alone supply the need of plant for carbon dioxide. So similarly, oxygen produced during photosynthesis is more than the need of respiring cells. So as a result, net release of oxygen coupled with uptake of carbon dioxide. So that's all for today. If you have any question, you can comment below. Thank you. Wish you best of luck. Allah Hafiz.